Hi, it's January 2014. We're in San Francisco at the ICT Educator Conference. I'm James Jones from the Mid-Pacific ICT Center, here with co-hosts of the event, Steve Wright and Dan Watanabe, representing the California Community College ICT Sector Navigator infrastructure. I guess the big picture is information and communication technologies are smoking hot in this state. It's about 1 in 20 jobs, and yet half of employers say they have trouble finding appropriately skilled ICT workforce. The California Community College system gets that, and they've devoted resources now to focus proactively on this named sector, ICT/digital media, and Steve Wright is now the single point of contact, the statewide ICT sector navigator.
Yeah.
And Dan is a deputy sector navigator for the Los Angeles region. Maybe, Steve, you could describe a little bit about what that means.
Well, having a statewide position, leadership position as they call it in the grant, simply means that I help coordinate and try to provide structure to what we now have 10 deputy sector navigators working throughout the state in ICT digital media. And ICT digital media is one of, I believe, 10 sectors that were identified by regional consortia as being evolving, and like healthcare, it was one of the ones that was picked in every region of the state. So that's why we have so many deputy sector navigators. And also, ICT digital media is a huge umbrella. I know in the past we've talked about IT. ICT obviously includes IT, software development, and now we're including digital media. And the more we look into the labor market information, we're realizing that these skills are not just core skills within jobs with those titles. They extend into just about every industry and every business, agriculture, logistics, banking, whatever. So when we look at our students in California, particularly in the community college system, a big obligation is to look at entry-level jobs. Mm-hmm. And coming up with a good career pathway to get them in entry-level jobs is quite a challenge. And one of the things that's challenging about it is the community college system was never designed to be a top-down organization. Mm-hmm. It's regional, it's bottoms-up, it's actually district. We all know we elect district trustees, and they in turn vote on college presidents, and within the colleges, the faculty develop the curriculum. So how do you get to all the faculty and all those different regional people and work with the WIBs and all the others on a regional basis to, from the bottoms up, kind of bring together a convergent approach on ICT and digital media that's effective in today's environment? Mm-hmm. Well, you need people, you need feet on the street. Mm-hmm. And so even though Dan and the other deputy sector navigators and I got together back in Sacramento last fall and devised a step-by-step plan, and everybody's been working on it, each region has come up with different entry-level jobs that seem to be more appropriate for their region. I think Dan's got an interesting story because he's in Los Angeles with a background in entertainment, and the entertainment industry has gone through quite a revolution in terms of digitizing everything they do. So a new angle on ICT, in addition to the basic help desk and IT functions that we're used to dealing with, a new angle and a productive one for LA is the entry-level jobs in entertainment. Dan, tell us how you've approached that marketplace and how you've determined what the jobs are and shared that with faculty.
Okay, well, first of all, the entertainment industry is indeed going through very much a cataclysmic change with the switch over to digital technologies, because this has now become a growth area for not only incoming workers but also incumbents, because the new technologies have virtually rendered all previous educational models and even skill sets as being relatively obsolete. So you're having a much greater need for that basic training. The entertainment worker, in fact, accounts for approximately a third to a half of the ICT professionals in the Los Angeles region in general. So what we are doing is we are actually looking at curriculum in the various community colleges and in the high schools to come up with better career paths and articulation pathways, career pathways, to prepare the incoming students for a career in the entry level of the business. To do that, we have segmented the entertainment industry into 3 different and distinct areas. One is pre-production, one is production, and the third is post. Under the production sector, we are working very diligently on making sure that people have a strong sense of knowing the computer software that they're going to need to know to be in an office, in an entry-level position. And you might think, well, that's just Microsoft Office, but it isn't. It also includes most of the Adobe suite. People today, even on an assistant level, need to understand how to use Photoshop and After Effects and Dreamweaver or HTML or whatever system for that in order to just do those jobs. When we move into the production realm, well, in the camera department alone, we have 3 new occupations that did not exist 10 years ago. And they're all kind of under the same umbrella. Let's call these digital technicians. The first of them is the digital wrangler, who is the person in charge of taking the raw footage on the card from the camera and transcoding it into the computer. The next is the digital media technician, who is in charge of making sure that the process on the computer works within Video Village, which is where the director and everyone else hangs out, and that all the correct copies are made. The digital imaging technician, which is a step-up job, is someone who gets paid a lot per day to make sure that the image looks the way that the creative forces want. Then we move into the world of post-production, where an average person who's incoming not only needs to know 1 program, they need to know 3 distinct editing programs and at least 2 separate sound programs, as well as the constant iteration of new programs that are coming in. So we feel that there's a tremendous opportunity in just the entertainment subsector of ICT to provide an ample number of career paths, because literally every one of the 18 colleges in my region has some form of digital media class. And so this will service all of them to make sure that, as we all know, if you tell your parents, I want to be in show business, they think, where have I gone wrong? This is to ensure that those students can go to their parents and say, yes, Mom and Dad, I indeed do have a job as my ultimate deliverable.
Now, Dan, you have a lot of personal knowledge of the entertainment industry. However, in the community college environment, we often have to prove that what we say is happening in the workforce is actually happening. Now, could you tell us a little bit about the Marketplace event and who you invited and the faculty interaction?
On November 21st, we did an event with the Los Angeles and Orange County Regional Consortium of Community Colleges. And at that event, we had 15 different entertainment industry employers or technicians who were talking about the different jobs that were available, the different career paths that someone could take, what classes they needed to have under their belt, what type of software they needed to know, and to a lesser degree, because otherwise an event can be consumed by this, the soft skills that somebody needs for that. In addition to those 15 industry pros, we brought in 10 of our incomers, who are people who recently graduated from the community college system. Some of them had gone on to a 4-year, so we had both transfer and people who went directly from CTE pathways who have a substantial job at this point. So they are making the bulk of their living through the entertainment industry, and yet they are all under age 25. So we wanted to have people who could be experts to talk on that level to high schoolers as part of CTE and to other community college students to say, you know what, I can do this, so can you. From the level of an older brother or older sister, as opposed to, oh, well, that's my dad talking. I don't want to listen to them. So we're working on that.
And as I recall, faculty that was there was able to take notes on what are the credentials required, the skills required, and everything else, so they could really live and breathe what these people are saying. And the thing I love about what Dan's doing is now the faculty is also energized about this, and it makes it easier for him to go to, what is it, 18 colleges in Los Angeles?
Within 18 colleges. Right now, we are already in the process of talking with several of the colleges and using the professional experts that we have on hand to go in there and review curriculum that's currently existing as part of curriculum review and say, what can we do to bring this up to date to what employers need today without necessarily going in there and wholesale tearing apart a curriculum or a certificate or in any way endangering articulation agreements with the 4 years. So we're trying to be very, very sensitive to making sure that this is something that faculty will embrace and that it provides a way for them to enhance their classes as opposed to saying, oh, well, we're going to be Butch Boss and come in here and tell you what to do. So no, it's very collaborative.
Well, and because of Dan's background, he's been able to go very far and very deep quickly. Our other deputy sector navigators, some of them are still exploring hybrid sectors like agriculture and logistics and healthcare, trying to find where those sector occupational needs that we can fill in the community college system. So we're all at different phases of basically doing market analysis, and then looking at the pathways that are available within the region. And then finally, as we define the pathways that we have or need to reconstruct in each region, we'll be going into what's basically a marketing phase. We'll be cheerleading what the different pathways are, telling business, telling students, and more importantly, the counselors. We have one counselor for every 2,000 students in the community college system, and they are dying for our guidance on what to tell these students. So we take a lot of personal responsibility in what we're doing. The last thing we want to do is get anybody's hopes up about a job or entry-level position that isn't real. So we're spending a heavy amount of time on the market research, and then an equally large amount of time breaking down the barriers between departments, making sure these pathways happen, so that when we get to the end zone there, which is doing the marketing of it and everything, we'll be having a lot of fun.
Wow, so glad to have you guys involved in this. Exciting stuff going on in LA, exciting stuff going on in other regions around the state. So if I could just try to summarize and make sure I got my head around this. Information and communication technologies, digital media are pervasive. They're increasingly strategic. They're used by all kinds of organizations in every industry for productivity and strategic advantage. We don't have enough workers with the appropriate knowledge and skill sets in this space.
Definitely.
We desperately need to push those knowledge and skills out there. Community colleges are the most cost-effective way to push those knowledge and skills out there. The California Community College system is the largest higher educational system in the United States, and that system gets this now. There's a dynamic new Vice Chancellor at the state level, Van Ton Quinlivan. She has a strategic reorganization campaign doing what matters for jobs in the economy. The vision there is to identify the strategic vertical sectors that have the greatest potential for impact statewide, have those vertical sector leadership work with regional leadership to develop projects and plans for making a difference in these sectors. When they asked the regional consortia around the state, there's 10 of those, to vote on which those sectors they thought were most important. ICT digital media came in number 2 in the state, behind healthcare. And so the state has said, okay, we get that, and we're going to fund Steve to be a statewide single point of contact for ICT digital media, and we're going to fund 10 people like Dan to perform deputy sector navigator roles for ICT digital media. And so now things are starting to roll. I couldn't be more excited about this. I really couldn't.
It's fun.
And it seems like that's appropriate because you started it, James. With your advocacy of ICT over the past few years, this organization wouldn't be here. So I hope you and all your MPICT fellows realize that it's a job well done. That's why we're here.
Thank you. So you can go to our website, MPICT.org, and we'll help direct you to Steve and their resources. Is there a place that you would direct people to find out more about what
the Doing What Matters website? I find if I just type Doing What Matters into Google, I get there every single time, so I haven't learned the website. Works great.
Awesome. Well, thanks for pitching in for a successful winter conference, and can't wait to see what comes out of this effort in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.